When did it become a slur to question the ethnic or cultural appropriation of an individual? I was catching this discussion, this back and forth between Byron Donaldson and George Stephanopoulos on This Week. And I want you to listen.
In the history of our country with respect specifically to fentanyl, and the fact that she and Joe Biden have unleashed one of the worst foreign policies in the history of our country that has us.
So before I go on, George Stephanopoulos asked Byron Donaldson, why is it that President Trump and individuals keep focusing on the race of Kamala, right? And so Byron Donaldson was like, you know what, that really doesn't matter. What people are really focused on is these issues that he is lining out.
On the verge of World War III. That is Kamala Harris's record. President Trump talks about that frequently, but yes, he did mention it in Chicago.
And this is just fair usage.
In response to a question from Rachel Scott.
And you just repeated the slur again. If it doesn't...
So I didn't hear Byron Donaldson repeat any type of slur. He didn't say any kind of slur, and yet George Stephanopoulos seems either senile or he's lacking comprehension in what is being said, because he is committed to, whatever, position he has, that he's not comprehending what this man is saying, that he's like, look, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about a record. And this man is insistent upon calling, questioning the cultural appropriation and the ethnicity of Kamala Harris out as a slur. And for the record, Jamaicans are not black. They're not. They're Jamaicans. Black Americans are black.
Doesn't matter. Why do you all keep questioning her identity? She's always identified as a black woman. She is biracial.
Look, if I identify as a unicorn, does that make me a unicorn? Okay. I think when you listen to the conversations of all the black-looking people in America and the different cultural, ethnic backgrounds that they come from, many Jamaicans will tell you that they're not black people. They're Jamaicans. They culturally appropriate themselves to Jamaicans. They don't culturally appropriate themselves to Black Americans, right? Because in their mind, we are different types of black-looking people. It's very tribal. I mean, even in America, people are kind of tribal. And I think a lot of that has to do with their cultural ancestry and what they bring to the table, and also just how this country is set up socially. People have a sense of tribalism. And I think that's very perplexing to the Democrats, who like to leverage all kinds of social groups against each other, because it really makes it complicated for them when it comes to leveraging black-looking people moving forward, because now you have that FBA camp, thank God for them, who's really kind of calling out, some of the obvious. And I think that this has opened up some bigger conversations. And I think the Democrats are just feeling a little called out. And so now they're kind of victimizing themselves. But let's listen to victimized George Stephanopoulos not comprehend what Byron Donaldson is saying.
She has a Jamaican father and an Indian mother. She's always identified as both. Why are you questioning that?
Jamaicans aren't black.
Well, George, first of all, this is something that's actually a conversation throughout social media right now. There were a lot of people who are trying to figure this out. But again, that's a side issue, not the main issue.
Side issue, not the main issue.
1 second. You just did it. You just did it again.
Of the United States.
Why do you insist on questioning her racial identity?
You want me to talk?
So at this point, I'm sitting up there like, you are supposed to be an intelligent news anchor who can comprehend, what people are telling you. And you're accusing this man of questioning her racial identity when he keeps saying, hey, you know what, this is a secondary point, it's a moot point. And, I think that what they are really trying to do is get Byron Donaldson to maybe own some level of blackness that they need Kamala Harris to have to really be strong with the black community. And they need it to come from a black man, obviously, because obviously black men, they're just smarter than black women.
I want you to answer my question.
In some regards.
George, now that you're done yelling at me, let me answer. He talked about it on the stage yesterday in Atlanta for 2 minutes? He spent more than 35, 40 minutes going after her record, talking about how radical of a senator that she was. She was the most liberal senator in the United States.
And he's going based off of facts.
That is a fact.
None of the race stuff.
The job that she did as vice president of the United States, a job, I will add, which has been a failure for the American people. I know you guys like to glom on to this that he talks about in jest or in a serious manner for about a minute or so, but what you do not cover is the litany of failures of Kamala Harris. That's what you're not covering, George.
So questioning somebody's racial identity for a couple minutes is okay?
George, I'm going to tell you
if they're posing, absolutely.
He is the one that wrote the headline when she first came in.
If they,
the United States Senate. Didn't talk about her being black.
Here's the thing. If somebody is posing, right? If they're, it's like Rachel Dolezal, right? Literally, the Democrats vilified that woman. Rachel Dolezal, that white, whatever background she was, who pretended to be a black woman. She immersed herself into the black, all the institutions of the black struggle institution, NAACP, all that stuff, right? And the Democrats, once they found out that she was not an authentic black woman, right, they demonized her. I think Rachel Dolezal is on OnlyFans now. Like, the woman is really struggling. They destroyed her career, her life. Okay? So when they want to see all of their games kind of come back, at all their hypocrisies come back at them, I still have yet to see Democrats and all those coalition of people apologize to Rachel Dolezal, because obviously being transracial is like acceptable. Matter of fact, they should call it transracial. Rachel. Transracial. Right? Because a lot of these people are acting racially ambiguous for some type of personal gain. A lot of these people are being leveraged because they look like something for personal and political gain. And again, it's just like Mindy Kaling's brother, right? Dude couldn't get into the university as an Indian guy, so he shaved his head, posed as a black guy, and basically he posed as a black guy, even though he was an Indian guy, who basically Indians are Caucasians. But anyways, I just feel like these liberals, what they do is they do all this slick stuff. And then when people start calling it out, they want to start acting like they're victims. So kudos to Byron Donaldson for holding his ground and not letting George Stephanopoulos, bring out some ignorance in him or anything like that, just because George wanted to be ignorant and lack a lot of comprehension in that exchange. Because again, he was like, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep accusing him or questioning her race? And I'm like, you guys need to stop leveraging race. Stop using people's race as a badge of credibility or disguising people, chameleoning people into different racial groups so that you can target different groups, right? Stop using race, Democrats. I mean, because it's coming back to eat you alive. It's coming back to eat you alive, and now you want to play victim because you don't know how to take it. That card is burned. You're not going to be able to use that for couple, maybe, you're going to have to go about maybe good 5 years, 5, 10 years. Hopefully people forget about all the ways that you guys have leveraged race to divide and conquer. So, anyways, you guys, you have a wonderful, wonderful night. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.